Welcome back to Perks Recap. Back at it once again. The name of the album is Sports. The artist is Huey Lewis and the News. I definitely know of Huey Lewis and the News. I know some of their songs, but I've never listened to an entire album front to back by Huey Lewis and the News. So I'm looking forward to this. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is part 1 of 3. Let's get to it. It'll be the first 3 songs. The first one, The Heart of Rock and Roll. Interesting. Saxophone. I like the sax. Back to the heartbeat. Nice fade out. Okay, that one was one I knew. I've heard Heart of Rock and Roll before. It was a big hit, and I was alive when this came out, so it was a big hit at the time. And I haven't heard it in years and years and years. Completely forgot about the saxophone being in there, so it was nice to hear again because it is a catchy song. There's a reason why it's a hit. I mean, it's just a good song, and I really enjoyed that saxophone at the end there. Let's move on. The next song is Heart and Soul. Now, the last song was written by Huey Lewis and Jimmy Kalla, but this one, Huey Lewis is not part of the writing credits, and I guess these two, let me get their names again, Mike Chapman and Nicky Chin, I guess these are like renowned writers, songwriters, that other people, like they write songs for other people, and I guess they wrote one for him. Again, this one is called Heart and Soul. Let's just get right to it.
Rubbing citric acid on the stomach for a six-pack, not gonna burn fat.
Thinking about starting over on the treadmill again. I need to drop my belly.
All right. Let's keep going. We went by the ad. There was an ad in between, of course. Let's keep going. I remember this one too. A little harder with the guitar. I love that. It's really good. Don't remember this. catchy again.
She's hard and soul. She's hard and soul. She's hard and soul. She's hard and soul.
The slow fade. Okay. Of course, there's an ad. Anyway, Heart and Soul. I heard that one as well. This was another hit. I'm trying. Let me see if I can recognize any others on here. I think, yeah, on our last part 3, is a song called "If This Is It." I know that one as well. But again, these are all songs I haven't heard in years and years and years. So, I'm forgetting different parts of it. And so far, I mean, Huey Lewis, all his hits that I know or have heard, they're all just really catchy. That's the main thing. I criticize 80s music sometimes because of the synthesizers. I'm not a big fan of synthesizers at all. But, and Huey Lewis does use some synthesizers at times. But for the most part, I if it's a good song, it's a good song. I like the saxophone in the first song. These are 2 hits, and there's a reason why. They're just catchy, really, really catchy songs, really good. And yeah, If This Is It is also another really good one that I remember, but I don't know anything else. So the other 6 songs that we're going to get to throughout this, I will be hearing for the first time. And yeah, like I said, about the synthesizers, I can forgive it to a degree. It does annoy me sometimes when they're overused. He's not overusing them, and they fit the song fine. So I'm cool with it. But for the most part, usually one of the things I don't like about 80s music sometimes is the overuse of synthesizers. Anyway, this one is called "Bad Is Bad." That will be the first. That'll be the last song on our part here, and then that'll be the end of part 1, and we'll move on to part 2. Anyway, "Bad Is Bad." Let's get by this ad. Oh. harmonica.
underneath the bed. Sometimes bad is bad. I say cool in the room. Sometimes bad is bad. I say cool in the room. Sometimes bad is bad. I say cool in the room. Sometimes bad is bad.
Wow. Okay, so Bad is Bad. Not a terrible song, not a bad song at all. I actually enjoyed that one quite a bit. I like the doot 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 doot. That part was pretty cool. It was almost like a doo-wop. It sounded like in the background, which is actually not my style of music at all. But it worked for this song. Was it as good as the other two? No, it wasn't. But again, I go through. I've done quite a few album reactions now, and usually there's at least 2 or 3, or sometimes even more songs that are just okay, or songs that I'm not too keen on. But usually, all my suggestions, all my people who subscribe here, are really good about getting me good albums that I'm going to enjoy for the most part, and that's usually what happens. And even without, even just knowing that If This Is It is coming up in the third part, that's 3 solid hits. And if there's just 1 or 2 more, then I'm going to say this whole album is a good album. And again, this last one wasn't a bad song. Bad is Bad, not bad at all. I enjoyed it. The next one is going to be I Want a New Drug. There's another one. I missed that. I Want a New Drug. I know that one as well. Wow, there's a lot of hits on this. Let's go back a little bit. This is the end of part 1, by the way. I just want to go back real quick because I saw there's 5 singles on this album. Heart and Soul, I Want a New Drug, The Heart of Rock and Roll, If This Is It, and Walking on a Thin Line. I don't remember that one at all. These were all released in the end of 83 into 84. The album itself was released in September of 1983. And let's get some information here. It reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 on June 30th, 1984, and ultimately charted for 160 weeks. Not days, weeks. That's 2 years. That's over 2 years. That's 3 years. Almost 3 years. My goodness. No, that's 3 years. The more I think about it, it's 3 years. Wow, 160 weeks on the Billboard 200. That's crazy. There was 4 top 10 hits in the Billboard Hot 100. 4 top 10s on this album. So this is one hell of an album. This is a juggernaut of an album, and this obviously must be Huey Lewis's signature album. And the funny thing is the song that I know the most from him, that I've heard the most, is Power of Love, and that's not even on this album. So he's got another album that I'm sure is pretty good, with just at least that song on there. Power of Love, of course, I know from Back to the Future, because I'm a Back to the Future nut, and I watched that movie dozens of times, maybe hundreds of times, legitimately. And Power of Love is in there, and Huey Lewis himself is actually in there too. That's a little bit of a trivia. Did you know that Huey Lewis is in Back to the Future? He's the teacher when Marty McFly is going out performing with his band, trying to be the band for the school dance. They're denied because they're too darn loud, and the teacher grabs a megaphone and says, "Sorry, fellas, I'm afraid you're just too darn loud. Let's bring out the next band, please." And that's Huey Lewis. He's the teacher who's saying they're too loud. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's just a little side note. If I would say anything, I would love to hear some more guitar work. You know me with the guitar. But overall, so far so good. Definitely 2 out of 3. And like I said, the third one still wasn't that bad either. Wasn't bad at all. I actually enjoyed it. So I would actually say 3 out of 3. So we're going to move on to part 2. Hopefully you'll join me there. The link for part 2 will be in the description below. All the parts, the links for all of them will be in all the descriptions, so you can jump around however you want. Anyway, real quick about my podcast, information about Venmo and PayPal if you'd like to donate. All that stuff is also in the description, and the link to this will also be there as well. That's going to do it. I'll see you in part 2. And until then, I will see you later.